day. So we're gonna get started with our battle for today. Yesterday on the stream we were talking about doing kind of like a Marvel versus DC. I decided to condense it into like one specific battle, and today we're gonna do it on Thor versus Shazam. So before we even get into the topic and debate, I'm going to open up a couple of things so that way we could get into the history, the powers of both of the characters. And also on my Instagram, I also posted it as well so people could vote on the characters that they basically want to win, right? So I'm just checking that constantly. Alright, so we're good. Yeah. And then I'm going to open up the chat on my phone as well. Let me see. Open up the chat so that I could basically see who's viewing it, and also so I can know basically what to answer in terms of like questions and answers and things of that nature, because I want this to be a really interactive debate about who do you think would win. Now I definitely want people to have some kind of like creative yo, what's up, Just Rican? What's going on, man? I'm just updating some things, some tags and things of that nature for the stream before we get started for the debate, because I know people are probably going to come in a little bit later. So, but today's topic is going to be Thor versus Shazam. So Marvel versus DC with those two characters. So I'm excited to see the creative, I guess, debate topics, right, about who would win, why they would win, so that there's a better understanding of the two characters in their entirety themselves, right? So yeah, but in the meantime, while we're waiting a little bit, how's everyone doing? What's going on? Is everyone excited for the new year? I'm personally excited for the 2020. Yeah, it is kind of tough. It's kind of tough in the sense that some of the characters that I know who I think would win, right? And I'm gonna state my reasonings for the character, but some people might have some really creative ideas that might sway my opinion. And then what we'll do at the end of the stream is we'll vote on who will face each other next in the next round for the Marvel vs. DC character face-off. So yeah, I'm excited. So just gonna wait it out a little bit. I'm still just updating some like tags, things of that nature. So other people who are, you know, just looking for similar topics might find my channel. And you're saying Thor? I see I see the hammer. Changing my settings to no, it's not made for kids, because there's gonna be some, I don't know, death. If I say the word dead, I guess it's not for kids already. This video is not for kids. I'm not gonna swear because I don't swear, but yeah. So there you go, Copa. yeah. One more to 600. I'm excited. I'm excited for the 600 mark. You know, I definitely want to just reach the community in different ways, and already everyone's making such good content. So I think like me having these Zen talks are really, I'm gonna really explore the concept of like the versus battles and debates. I remember when I was younger and I used to go to, because I live in New York, so I used to go to a place called Dragon's Den. And Dragon's Den, there used to be this really, you know, they sold comic books, figures, collectibles, things of that nature. And one of the things that they would do on like Saturdays and Fridays is they would have this debate table, right, where they would just simply debate about characters, philosophy, styles of fighting, and just different things like that. So I always thought it was, and I never debated with those people until one time they were talking about Professor X. They were just debating whether or not Professor X is actually racist or not, right? But it wasn't like they were just throwing things out there. The concepts and the history behind it was just really immersive. So you know, and they used to do like versus battles, who would win in like a battle, you know, Juggernaut versus like the Hulk or something like that. We already know who would, I mean, like Juggernaut versus someone from like DC. So they would go back and forth between like powers and not just talk about like who's more powerful, but also the potentiality and like feats that you've seen in like previous comic books. So it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So, you know, I'm excited in that sense, you know, when it comes to, you know, just exploring that concept when in these kind of videos. One of the things that I've been doing a lot is editing videos, but I feel like I put a little bit too much work into the editing of the videos and not enough into the actual quality. So I'm kind of steering away from the high level of edits and just concentrating on the fun and the quality of that, you know, the videos themselves, right? So that's what I definitely want to do. All right, we're about to get started. So, oh, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. Thank you for sharing it on IG. And we'll probably, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go through the history of these characters while we get into the actual debate, because I think one of the most important aspects is getting into these characters. So what I did with this XSplit is I have the ability to bring up the characters. So we're going to start off with Thor. Okay, so we're going to go through this process, a little bit about his character, and why is this not loading? It's like it kind of skips. So this is a quote. So we're going to read a quote because I think we need to get into the psychology of the character himself. One of the things that I posted on my IG when we're talking about these characters and debating the characters, the category is a little, it's more than just powers and so we're going to talk about in terms of abilities, of course, right? Abilities, experience, psychology, and feats, right? So those are things that we're really going to explore. So, oh, did this just go back? Madripoor. Madripoor, where did this come from? Alright, can I go back in the page while I'm on this? Of course something happens when I'm doing X, Y, and Z, right? I want to see if I could go back. I can't go back. Alright. I'm going to close that real quick. And we're going to bring up Shazam. Because the page went bad. So we're going to start off with Shazam and then we'll go back, right? Because I have to put on a new page in it to see. So Shazam's feats. Let's talk about Shazam. So his alias we know is Billy Batson. And he first appeared in basically Wiz Comics in 1940. So let's talk about his powers. Let's check them out. So in his human form, Billy Batson is a normal kid. We're not going to really get into that. He's a kid who embarked on basically was blessed with superpowers, for lack of better words, and things of that nature, right? So in terms of his abilities, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so that I can read better. So he has magic powers, and the wisdom of Solomon enhances Shazam's mind, giving him near photographic memory. I didn't really know about that part, as well as great understanding of mathematics, combat strategy, languages, and sciences. The wisdom of Solomon can increase moral instinct and understanding of strategy, or the audible voice in his mind that guides him. Okay. All right. So if we keep going, in terms of his powers, we know that I'm shifting up a little bit. Wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, stamina of Atlas, and the power of Zeus, and the courage of Achilles, right? And the speed of Mercury. So all of those are basically the letters of Shazam. So each of the letters of Shazam represent a god themselves, right? So if we're gonna, that's basically when it comes to his powers, right? So all of his powers are from those gods, and it's magic based, right? So if we look right here, it says his magic power and wisdom of Solomon enhances, we talked about this, enhances his mind. So let's get into the living lightning. So the living lightning gives Shazam the ability to generate and control lightning, as well as call on certain spells in special circumstances, right? So this is a little bit important, because this is the part that a lot of people forget about Shazam, that his powers are magic based, right? So it's not just like he's just calling on the elements. They're stemming from somewhere, right? The mystic lightning can also enhance the power of other magic spells. So I'm going to read that again. The mystic lightning can also enhance the power of other magic spells, as well as his strength and healing abilities. Shazam has mastery over the living lightning and extra abilities it gives him. And it's not featured in the comic book stories earlier than 2000. Okay, good. So that's basically that. Billy Batson is a really cool character, right? He takes his power from different sources, right? And one of them is Solomon, then Hercules, then Atlas, then Zeus, and then Achilles and Mercury. If you're not too sure, I'm just bringing this down. If you're not too sure, think about it this way, right? It's not the same concept, but think about it where we have in Marvel, Doctor Strange, right? Doctor Strange does, the spells and all of the things, and he's basically taken his power from different sources, right? Or different magical beings, or high-level magical beings, right? So when he's doing a spell, he's summoning the spell from a different source, right? Think about when Shazam calls on Shazam, he's utilizing portions of those gods' power in order to, make himself capable, for lack of a better word. So in that aspect, he's pretty cool and also capable. The one part that I really paid attention to is I understood the concept of Solomon before, but his ability to make him strategically better may turn the tides when he's going against characters who have more experience. Just putting it out there, right? Yeah, because that could really turn the tides in a lot of different ways, right? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to open up another page so that we could check out Thor, kind of like the psychology of him through a quote, right? Now, I didn't really get into the psychology of Shazam himself, but one of the things that we do know about Shazam is that he is very forthright, right? He's a person he shows citizenship. And what I mean by that is like the character pillars. He wants to do the right things for the right reasons, right? And he's also a kid, so he's very imaginative, right? And we know that aspect about being a child is very important, right? When it comes to, I want to be a person who's very creative. Nothing on this planet that we've ever had hasn't come from imagination. So imagine a kid who has powers, who is not confined to the adulthoodness, right? Of feeling like he needs to do X, Y, and Z in a certain way, but he's like, I'm going to use X, Y, and Z and ABC and mix them up however I want. Especially when you're utilizing powers. Creativity combined with that could offer a lot in terms of his fighting prowesses and abilities to go against just characters who are just pretty much like stoic, right? So I think that aspect is pretty cool when talking about the psychology of the character. I'm not too sure what you guys think about it, but I think that aspect alone is a plus, right? Some people will see that as immaturity, right? But if he has that coupled with the wisdom of Solomon, then I don't know. It's a little bit different. All right, we're gonna bring up this wiki for Thor, Odin's son. Love Thor. So we're gonna read this quote so we could get why does it do this? Is it advertisement? All right. So all the power of the storm from all of the world flows through my veins and can be summoned by a mind hammer at any time, wherever it is. Sorry, can't even read it right now. A lightning storm in Japan, mine. A hurricane off the coast of Barbados, mine again. A brace tornadoes in Kansas, mine. All that might, all that destructive force, mine to command. channeled and guided through my mystic might of this hammer, guided right at thee. It's pretty powerful, right? Because he's basically saying all the storms that happen around the world, I command that, basically. You know what I mean? So anyway, let's get into the character. Quick publication for his character, if I could read this, because everything is like ultra small. So we know he's Asgardian for sure, but when we're looking at his publication history, that's what I'm kind of scrolling up to right now. If I can't find it fast enough, then we're just gonna skip it. He's from the 616. Oh, okay. So he first appeared in Venus number 11. I don't know what Venus number 11. In November 1950. Okay. I've never heard about Venus 11. We're gonna click on it. I foolishly clicked on it, forgetting that I can't go back. But it's cool though. Yeah, I clicked on that because I just wanted to see the comic book. I've never heard about Venus, because that seems to be the original iteration when it comes to Thor, Odin's son. Interesting. I feel like now I have to do a little bit more. I don't know, more research when it comes to the character himself. But let's go back to that page so that we could get a chance to look at Thor's powers in its entirety, and then we'll kind of get into the debate. Right now we're just talking about the character, their psychology, and I'll leave it up to the chat a little bit later on to talk about the feats, right? Okay, all right, there we go. All right, so when we're talking about his powers now, which is it's a lot of people want to say it's very similar to Shazam. There's only one aspect there's a couple aspects that are similar, but there are a lot that are different, especially when we're talking about the wisdom of Solomon, right? Okay. Hold on, guys, this thing is like acting up. All right, scrolling down. We're just trying to get to the powers and feats, but as you can see, I'm scrolling down. Like, there's a lot of history here. Okay. Oh. All right. This wiki is making me a little bit frustrated right now because it's not giving me the ability to just stay on one page without scrolling all the way back up. How nice, right? All right. Which is, don't worry, this is the last part before we get into powers. So here's the thing, he has former powers. So we know his godlike strength, we know he has above normal intelligence, he has some kind of medical knowledge. If we're talking about the original lore, he has medical knowledge when he was Donald Blake, and so that's when he was Donald Blake. So we also see that he has superhuman speed. He can reach Mach 32, but that's when he's throwing the hammer, but that's still part and parcel to his power, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, so he has godlike stamina. We know about this. As many Asgardians do, they have above normal strength level. So superhuman strength, but it's a tad bit above that, right? Durability is very high, so he could get shot and he'll be all right too, right? Kind of Superman-esque, because he already survived as we're seeing right here. He survived, when we're talking about feats, he survived the blast from the Celestials. So he has superhuman reflexes, vast energy manipulation, which comes in the form of his ability to use like lightning, right? He has superhuman longevity. Asgardians could just really live like really long, right? Superhuman dense tissue, right? So durability goes hand in hand with this a little bit, so I'm not too sure about the difference, but his skin is just really tough, right? His bones is really tough. So so vulnerability usually refers to like the outside, kind of like Luke Cage a little bit, but this one is talking about his tissues on external and internal level are pretty durable in terms of his bones, which makes a lot of sense, right? So when he does those like high landings and he's like smacking down to the earth or smacking down onto a platform of some kind of, you know, earth-like material, his bones are not breaking, right? So he has rapid healing factor, superhuman senses, super breath, flight, and all speak. So all speak is basically that he can speak in multiple tongues or languages. So he could communicate in pretty much all of the different languages in the 9 realms. I did not know this at all. Okay, we have no pictures. Like, I haven't shown you guys any pictures of any of these characters except from the wiki themselves. I'm going to close the wikis. Since we know a little bit about these characters now, let's kind of start with the battle. And who we think, I'm going to state who, I'm a little bit swayed now. And the reason why I'm swayed, everyone, is for the simple fact that the aspect of Solomon for Shazam, which is the S, right, what gives him the understanding, just like deeper knowledge, has me a little bit swayed when it comes to the battle itself. But regardless of that, one, I do want to say that Thor would be the winner. I'm not too sure. I know Just Rican, he put it a little bit earlier. He put the hammer. I do think Thor would win. One of the things is okay, I'm looking at the chat. I didn't even scroll down. James Tambro, I didn't even see you, my brother. Sorry. Like, I just now scrolled down on my chat. Like, I had it up here and I thought it was gonna like populate and like shift down, and it definitely didn't. So I see Thors. I see 2 Thors. Okay, so we have 2 Thors who are basically saying that he's going to be the winner. I also am saying Thor as well. But I could also debate for the opposite reasoning too. And I'll explain why a little bit. What I'm doing right now is that I'm checking my IG to see who voted there and what did they say in terms of characters who, I mean, between the two, if they think it should be Thor, if they think it should be Shazam as well, because I want that to go into the final count for who will win. Okay, I see Thor again. So we have 4 Thors. Alright. So, alright, why do I think Thor will win? Okay, primarily, the reason why I think Thor will win is because he is battle hardened with experience. And what I mean by that is his ability to, he's gone through like quite a bit. Yes, in the beginning he was reckless, and I'm talking about like current versions of these characters right now, right? So he's gone through many battles, like time after time, right? Even if we were looking at the King Thor stories, now I'm not talking about King Thor, putting him into the mix, but what I am talking about is in that book itself, they have already referenced the many tales of Thor, right? The many stories of Thor. So even when I was just going through that list on the website, you could see that I was scrolling down for quite a bit. And I'm pretty sure that I could have scrolled down a little bit more. Now, if we're talking about the comparison to like story, now, of course, Thor has a greater, I guess, portfolio, resume than Billy Batson, right, as Shazam. One of the things about Shazam is that we know him as the character that he is, but he hasn't been on many adventures, and just kind of like a coming of age to a hero. Now, Thor is one of those characters on a psychological level. He is the epitome of a calling of a hero, right? A person who seemingly, I mean, in this case, for his stories, like he had it all, but at the same time, he was battle hardened, but he still wasn't the hero that, or the person that he was supposed to live up to be, right? And that would be King, right? To his, you know, basically he would take on the throne things of that nature. Now, for Billy Batson, did he go through a lot of trials and tribulation? Like, absolutely. Like, him being a orphan, and he had to go through hardships, 100%, right? So he's more of kind of like our version on Earth, right? He had to go through a lot. Billy Batson had to go through a lot. At first, not the aspect of not knowing who his parents were, but not being with his parents, right? So imagine a child who has to go through that, who was only going through the process of trying to wish for something more, right? And that wishing did come to a fruition where he was bestowed with the powers of Shazam, right? But if I'm going back, right, I'm going back to Thor, and I'm thinking about, all right, he's been through many journeys. He's probably went through 10 times more than what we've seen Billy Batson go through. I said 10 times, but it could be a whole lot more than that. And one big aspect that is that Thor is part and parcel to lightning, right? If Billy Batson was to shoot him with lightning and even do that Shazam thing to him, it would not work on Thor. Thor is part and parcel to the actual the storms, right? When it comes to lightning and thunder, he's part and parcel to it. So that wouldn't affect him. And one of the things that we learned in the King Thor series just recently, that just ended by Jason Aaron, is we had the understanding that as a child, Thor was afraid of lightning when he was basically in his crib. And his father, Odin, would basically kind of get mad at him for like being afraid of lightning because he is going to be the god of thunder. And the thunder would like roar like crazy. And the cool thing about it that we were left to the understanding is that Thor wasn't really afraid of the lightning, but every time he cried, his tears, not his tears, but him crying was actually the calling of the storms, right? So already that's an imaginable amount of power for one person to have. Here's the other aspect when it comes to like experience. Yes, Billy Batson will have the experience, not the experience, but the knowledge of Solomon and the mindset of Solomon to kind of like, I guess, accelerate his mindset, right? For lack of better words. But here's the thing. Experience is part and parcel to what you have gone through, right? So here's the thing about Billy Batson. He hasn't gone through enough battles to even use the ingenuity of Solomon to then figure out someone who's battle hardened, who's been going through battles his whole entire life. Now for Thor, he has the experience, but he also has the just kind of like the trial and error aspect of it, right? That he doesn't have that fixed mindset. He has that growth mindset where he feels like, I lost this battle, I'm going to come back 10 times stronger. I'm going to come back 10 times stronger. And for the most part, he has. Right? He's gone through many battles solo by himself, and he has come triumphant. Now, is that the same for Billy Batson? Absolutely, but on a grander scale, right? If we're talking about the lifeline of a character, this is Thor. This is Billy Batson, right? Now let's talk about like strength-wise, right? Now, something that everyone keeps talking about right now is that in the current comic books with King Shazam, which is the Shazam who was infected by the Batman who laughs, and I'll bring up a picture. I'll see if I can bring up a picture while I'm talking about it. One of the things that people are griping about is that their version of Thor in the DC Comics was decimated by King Shazam. Now, I think they actually did that as kind of like, this is the character, right? In the comic books. Now, here's the thing. It's King Shazam, right? That's one. Number two, I don't really think that's a fair argument, because the writers of DC are going to write him the way they want him to be. So their version of Thor in the DC comics is not our Thor in the DC comic books. So I don't think that's a fair battle. I'm just going to bring up a picture so you guys could see it real quick on this. So we're going to take this away, and so we basically see King Shazam like pounding Thor out, right? And again, I don't think that's a fair or adequate matchup, right? So this is the Thor, and King Shazam is just like destroying him. So this is kind of like why I brought up this this battle, is because I wanted to hear everyone's personal viewpoint on who they think would win, right? But again, I think all of the knowledge that we've accumulated through the years in terms of the differences between Thor and also Shazam will still lead back to Thor winning. Now, going back to creativity, now I'm also trying to debate with myself a little bit. Now, one of the things is that Billy Batson, aka Shazam, still has the creativity and the open-mindedness of a child, right? So he could potentially use his powers in a way that makes sense, right? Now, there's one aspect that I did not talk about, and that's the ability for if Shazam was to use the wisdom of Solomon to increase his knowledge, or to, I guess, increase his ingenuity to use spells to then increase his own physical ability, such as his strength, the strength of Hercules, then we could probably have some kind of a match that is a little bit more, I guess, more balanced, right? Because I do think the way the matchup is going between the two is that Thor would definitely decimate our friend here, Shazam. Now, here's the argument that that someone did say on my other page, and it was a fair argument, because there are times when, because who do you think would win in the battle, right? Superman or Thor? I'm going to go automatically with Superman, right? Just because of the feats and things of that nature. But here's the other part to it. The reason why he brought up Superman is because Shazam has shown at times to be able to stand toe-to-toe with Superman. But it doesn't mean that Thor couldn't do that too, right? At least for a little bit before being, knocked down or something of that nature. So I do think while the argument is there, it doesn't give us a fair conclusion onto the possibility into the actual fight itself, right? What I'm doing right here is checking the IG, the Instagram. If you don't have me on Instagram, by the way, it's zen.world and then underscore, right? Because I couldn't get Zen World for lack of a better word. So yeah, definitely check that out. Follow me on it if you are enjoying the content and want to see more videos like this. Alright, we're about to get to the conclusion of this battle. Now, I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of you who are going to watch this after the stream. We had quite a few people yesterday, but folks are probably getting off work, so I'm going to extend the stream a little bit. But one of the things that I'm going to do right now is I'm going to bring up, I'm going to do another battle, right? And this is what's going to be utilized for this battle. But a little bit later, as we're coming to the conclusion of it, right? So overarching, I think we had 4 votes earlier. So I'm going to just check the stream real quick. I'm going to scroll up all the way. So Just Rican had said Thor, because he left a hammer. James Tambro said Thor as well. And I had on Instagram prior to the stream, because I have people now who voted, but prior to the stream we had someone who basically said Thor again, and I also say Thor as well, right? So I guess we're left to the conclusion that it's Thor. It's Thor. Thor is going to be the winner. And I think that's a fair assessment. Now, I wish there was more people in the chat so that we could debate it, but I'm going to have to go with Thor. So if people watch this video a little bit later and disagree with it, post it in the comment section as to your reasoning why you think Shazam should have won, right? Because I honestly don't see Shazam winning at all. So the winner of this battle goes to Thor, Odin's son. And I know some of you are probably like, well, did you already have a Thor picture already? No, I had a... It was dependent on the votes, really. Even if my opinion was not swaying people, I definitely had like a couple pictures of Shazam ready. So hopefully, you know, don't feel like I already had that picked out, right? So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to get my charger before my phone dies. That's number one. And I am going to put up this wheel of names. We're going to do a DC wheel of names first. And in it, you're going to think about, first we're going to do Marvel names. We're going to vote on those. And then after the Marvel names, we're going to go with DC. And whoever we get from the Marvel and DC names, that will be the winner of the battle. I mean, not the winner of the battle, but that's going to be who's going to be the next battle on our next segment. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up some characters while I'm charging my phone. Alright, here you go. So I'm just gonna put up some names. I didn't get to do a powers explain for Domino. So Domino is gonna go up here. Let's see. Who else did I want to go into this? We're gonna put Wolverine in the mix. Wolverine is gonna go into the mix. I'm gonna put Sentry. We're gonna go with at least 6 characters, 7 characters in total. I'm gonna go for one more, then I'm gonna wait it out a little bit. So we have Domino, Wolverine, and Sentry. I wanted to put at least one powerhouse because, you know, that's gonna come up. People are gonna say like, oh, Franklin Richards versus Dr. Manhattan. Or like something like ridiculously powerful, right? And that's cool and all, but that takes a different type of debate, personally. So yeah. All right, here we go. So let me check the next character. We already did Thor. I'm trying to think of another character to put, or maybe we'll just do a 3. But basically, it's going to be whoever we get in this Wheel of Fortune. Then that's going to be. I'm going to add on the other names, but I'm just going to show you an example of it, right? So basically, if I was to spin, it would pick a name, right? Pretty cool, right? So for example, in this one, we're going to get Domino. Okay? Okay, and that would be the winner. Then we get to remove. We're not going to do that. That was just so that we could get examples. So Domino did not really win. Funny enough, though, her powers probably lend itself to her being picked, even though it's not really. She would need to be here for it to be used, right? All right, there we go. We have Domino, Wolverine, and I'm gonna pick up a comic book on my side and see. Which character? All right, here we go. I'm looking through my comics, so let me just make this so you could see what I'm doing at the same time. So what I'm doing is just looking through comic books so I could add on the extra 4 Marvel characters. It's really good. It's really, really good. Alright, Metalman, Doctor Strange. And you'll notice what I'm doing is I don't want to have a battle like this one, right? This one was like similar power types with a little bit of different spices going against each other, right? So whichever vote comes up, I want those characters, even if it's like a total like I don't know, just like just a shutdown match, right? Where it's like Spider-Ham versus like Galactus or something like that. Because the point of the debate is to debate who you think would win. This is just like meantime doing a quick repeat haul from yesterday. Really good. And it could be villains too, so it could be, you know, Gore the God Butcher, Captain Britain. Oh, okay. So let's add some I guess some exotic type of characters. Let's add Gore the God Butcher. We're gonna put this back up here. Gore. Is that how you spell his name? Gore. We're just gonna leave it at Gore. Well, let me put the whole thing. Gore the God Butcher. Okay. Alright, cool. So we have Gore the God Butcher. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 characters. Scrolling back so you can see me a little bit. Gore the God Butcher. And then we're gonna go with DC. We're gonna go with DC. And I'm taking a little bit long time to do this purposely because I know folks are gonna probably come on the stream at like 8 o'clock when I'm already about to wrap this up. We're gonna have to do like a repeat version of this show. I don't know, should Captain Britain? Alright, there's some characters in this upcoming event, incoming, right? We have Ghost Rider. We have a cool match would be, well, they have similar power types. Captain Marvel versus Wonder Woman. I think Wonder Woman would destroy her, but I could be wrong. I don't know. No, I don't actually think I'm wrong. I could be debated on it. Let me see. I guess we have Nova here. Let's go with Nova. Nova's another character, so let's bring up the wheel. Nova. Okay, we got, I said 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more. 2 more. Alright, let's bring it back to my face. Let's go with Spider-Ham. Why not? We're gonna go with Spider-Ham. We're gonna add Spider-Ham's name to the mix. Okay, Spider-Ham. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 6. Back to my face. All right. I'm just honestly picking characters from this booklet, this book list. We need some villains on here, right? So I'm gonna. Oh man, I definitely. I'm looking at Beta Ray Bill right here, and I would definitely love to put Beta Ray Bill. He's like one of my favorites. I think he's just really obscure, and that's why he's my favorite. He's not Thor, but he's something a little bit different, right? Let's go with Gladiator. Gladiator is not a villain, but he could act like one sometimes. I love Gladiator too. Gladiator. Okay. Alright, we have our crew. We didn't do DC yet because I'm lengthening the stream purposely for the purpose of seeing who will pop up in the stream like way after the fact. So, alright, so we're about to do, hold on, let me just come up. We're about to do the vote for the next round. We're going to only do Marvel right now, and then we're going to set up some names for DC. So, if there are DC characters that you want to face off against Marvel characters, put the name down. But again, this is going to be random. So, once we do all of the names from Marvel, then we're going to put in a whole bunch of DC names. Okay? Alright, here we go. We're going to start off with the Marvel side. And before I go into it, we have, I think that's big enough. We have Domino, Wolverine, Sentry, Gore the God Butcher, which looks like two names when I put it right. Okay, there we go, much better. Gore the God Butcher, Nova, Spider-Ham, and Gladiator. We're gonna wait a little bit because I just want to make sure that no one pops in and says like, oh, I wanted my character to come up there, right? But yeah, here we go. We're gonna start it up. So just looking at my phone, looking at the chat, looking at everything, but same amount of people, one. Which is okay. I'm all right with that. 100%. I'm just checking my IG too to make sure that no one did like a final vote for that that ending. But yeah. All right. Here we go. Let's get to it. We're about to do the vote. All right. This is it. Will it be Domino, Wolverine, Sentry, Gore the God Butcher, Nova, Spider-Ham, or Gladiator? Let's go. If I'm laughing, it's because previously we got Domino and she got it again. I think she's using her abilities. We got Domino again. Alright, so Domino is gonna be on the next round, the next matchup. So I'm gonna write that down in a little bit. In the meantime, if you're watching, pick at least 7 DC characters because they're gonna go off. Whoever gets picked will go against Domino in the first round. We're gonna do it again. We're gonna remove Domino. And we're left with Wolverine, Sentry, Gore the God Butcher, Nova, Spider-Ham, and Gladiator. Okay. I gotta get a pen. I should have had this stuff prepared. So it's gonna be Domino. Domino's gonna be in the first round. Alright. So Domino. I'm writing this down on a bill. Alright, here we go. Second round, so round 1 is Domino versus someone, and we don't know yet. Second round is, and we're only going to do 3 rounds. This one we only did 1 for 2 characters. It goes to it goes to Gladiator. So Gladiator is going to be in round 2 of our debate. So Gladiator, and round 3, I'm gonna wait a little bit, getting these names properly going. Oh boy, I can't. All right, so I'm so surprised that we got Domino that first round. Man, it's cool. All right, here we go. So Domino's round 1, and we have round 2 as Gladiator. Okay, we're gonna remove that name, and now we're left with Wolverine, Sentry, God the God Butcher, Nova, and Spider-Ham. So let's see who will go off in round 3 of this battle for our next one. Okay, here we go. Big snake. Oh! So, round 3 goes to Nova. So, Bake the Snake, what we were doing is, and I think when I do the next stream, I'm going to do it at 8 o'clock instead of 7. I think 7 o'clock is a little bit early. I'm on vacation, so that's why I thought 7 would be a good time, but I think a later time would be better. So we basically voted on who would win between Shazam and Thor. We went through a little bit of publication history when it comes to their powers, and we voted and said that Thor would win. Would you agree that Thor would win against Shazam? And if you do, then ultimately Thor wins, like we were saying. But one of the things that we're doing right now is I'm voting on a list of characters. I had to make up the names because there weren't that many people in the stream for the round 1s through 3. So I put in 7 names, which included Domino was part of it, Gladiator, Nova, Wolverine, Sentry, Gore the God Butcher, and Nova and Spider-Ham. So what we're going to do right now is I need a list of 7 characters, and it has to be DC. So Bake the Snake, put your names down for DC characters. The only thing that I'm not going to say is it can't be cosmic characters. It could be characters who have cosmic awareness or affiliation that could tap into it, but it can't be like, you know, celestial type characters in the Marvel and DC universe, for now at least. So here we go. I'm going to reset this, and we're going to delete these names. Here we go. And now I am going to go with DC. 7 DC names. And as long as they're Earthbound, well, not just Earthbound, they don't have to be Earthbound, because we could say a Green Lantern. But the whole goal is that on Friday, we're going to debate in round 1, 2, 3, and 4. So whoever basically is picked for round 1 will go against Domino for the first round. Second round will go to Gladiator, and the third round will go to Nova. And basically, whoever wins from all of those matches, based on like debates and votes, will decide if Marvel or DC won for that day and matchup, right? So we're gonna do it. So I'm just waiting. See? And my stream doesn't like do that automatic scroll down. I think I have to do it because not that many people are on it. All right. Yeah, I just did. We just did the Thor versus Shazam. So we voted on Thor. It was 5-0. So 5 for Thor and 0 for Shazam. Yeah, it wasn't. Okay. Let's go. Nice. All right. So Bake the Snake, you got. Wait, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more character. We need one more character, but I'm gonna plug in these names right now. Okay, let's do this. And we'll see round 1. So we're gonna put it Flash, which is a beast on its own, but I could see how he could go against another character from this list and still be alright, but that's the whole point. Oh, Ra's al Ghul. Alright, nice one. Alright. That's what happens when you come to the stream. You get to pick all the characters. Alright, adding in, so Aquaman, okay. Then we have Penguin, which is a really interesting choice, and I like it because, you know, we did have Spider-Ham in there. Cheetah. Then we have Wonder Woman. No, I like it. No, I like it. I like I like the combination. Cause I think we could have easily said like Batman and Superman versus like someone, right? But I think it's a little bit more exciting to debate upon characters who have potential or are lesser known, right? One of them, Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle's actually a beast, right? Especially if we're watching. If you've been reading the Infected comic books. Blue Beetle. Oh, what am I doing? And we have Race Agul. Am I pronouncing it? I'm just gonna write it exactly the way it's here. All right, here we go. I'm excited because I want to see we're gonna debate this and see who's gonna make it, basically. All right, here we go. I'm gonna cut my face for a little bit and you'll hear my voice. All right, so we have Flash, Aquaman, Penguin, Cheetah, Wonder Woman, Blue Beetle, I'm trying to say it cool, but I'm not. Ra's al Ghul. And we're going to see who goes against Domino in the first round. Oh, okay. You say Let's go first round. I actually want my face on the screen. Let's see who's going to go against Domino. Blue Beetle. All right. So it's Domino versus Blue Beetle in the first round. I feel like actually doing this right now, like all of these rounds, but I don't have. Yeah, I think that's a good matchup. Their powers are different, and that's what I was trying to go for. I wanted to go, like for this first stream, I did Thor versus Shazam, right? Arbitrarily, because it's not. I want to do battles that are like we don't actually know who to win. Like I don't know who to win between Domino and Blue Beetle. Like I know their power sets, but who would win in the battle with them? All right, so Blue Beetle won this. I'm gonna remove his name, and round 2. Here we go. This one is versus Gladiator from the Shi'ar Empire. Oh man, Gladiator versus Wonder Woman. That's a really good matchup. Wow. I'm just writing it down so I have it ready for next time. All right, final round goes to Nova. It's Nova versus someone. Who that someone is, I don't know. All right, here we go. Okay, here we go. All right, so it's Nova. It's gonna be Nova versus Aquaman. And I would like to say who I think would win, but then I actually don't know who would win between. I really like these battles. So first round we have. Exactly. He has to be out of order to go against Gladiator. Nova, so to speak. So let me bring this out. See, that's the question. That's the thing. We have to. So when we set up the matches, right? I still want to assume that there's water wherever they are, but there's also high ground, right? And that's about it, really. That's the only thing I'm going to say. Because we do have to think about their power sets, their abilities, their psychology, their creativity, and their ability to make decisions based on their environment around them. So I'm going to just say that they're on Earth, right? All of these battles are happening on the Earth. There is going to be water. There is going to be land. But then the question is, how has their publication lent itself to... Oh, okay, I see what you mean. So you're saying like a neutral area, Everglades, or the swamp. I feel like Aquaman could like bring up some like really creative creatures from the swamp itself, right? No, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. I guess we could. All right. So now you made me think a little bit harder. All right. So this is probably the last addition that I'm going to add to these matches that we're going to do the debate on, is the actual environment. We probably need to vote on the environment for these characters. So what I'm going to do, because I just heard that sound from my computer, Bake the Snake, if you could think about 3 environments, and whichever one we get with the Wheel of Fortune, kind of like voting, that's the environment they have to fight in. How does that sound? While I'm charging my computer real quick. Okay. So we already have the battles, the characters for the battles, but now we have to decide upon where are they going to fight. So we have... Alright, let me see. You said you could do a toss or a random home field or neutral. Huh. I see. Or we could come up with options. I would say options just to be a little bit... and the reason why I'm saying that is because when you said swamp, that really made me think about, just really cool. Someone could be at an advantage or someone could be at a disadvantage. So I am going to put swamp here. And I would say that neutral should be here, but neutral is basically anyone could be in their home environment. There's like it's part and partial, right? So if it was like Cheetah would be in the jungle, and if she was going against like Aquaman, I don't know, another character like Penguin, it's still like there's still like a cold environment. Oh, there we go. Thank you. All right, so I'm putting up neutral as like part and partial. Ocean, assuming that they could breathe in kind of like an environment like that. Desert, space, and jungle. I think that's good. Okay. And of course, the assumption is that they could breathe in all of these environments. They just have to utilize their environment to the best of their ability, using their creativity, ingenuity, their abilities, and it's based on their feats when we debate them on Friday. So the first round is going to be, again, Domino versus Beetle. So who will win in this specific environment once we debate upon it? So I'm going to get, we're just going to see. Let's do this. Okay, cool. So Domino versus a Beetle in the ocean, but not actually in the ocean, but there's water around their area, right? There's water in their area. It's not like they're just like swimming and trying to fight, because they would die. Even though Domino would probably, her abilities would probably do something. You said Beetle's taking on Domino. All right. I'm gonna do my research. I'm gonna read up on these characters, their abilities, up until that time. All right, we're gonna leave the ocean. We're not gonna remove it. Round 2 goes to Gladiator versus Wonder Woman. I think they'll be all right wherever they go, but let's see anyway. So we have Gladiator versus Wonder Woman in the desert, and I feel like that's just like a brutal battle. It's just gonna be like, oh man, I'm imagining that battle too, and it's like I wish I had like really great animation skills because I would animate some of these things. But one of the things that I can do for these characters is I have this game called Mugen, which kind of like I could input some of these characters to like do like a watch battle. That would be pretty cool. So Gladiator versus Beetle in the desert. Oh, and you said, well, it depends if it's Lucky Domino. Yeah, I'm assuming that if it's her with her, I forgot what it's called, but basically her luck ability, right? Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Like Gladiator versus Wonder Woman, they could just like straight like decimate the whole entire area without even feeling bad. Not that necessarily they would. Probably Wonder Woman would, and Gladiator would be like, I don't really care about this planet. For the Shi'ar. All right, we're gonna leave that. Final one, and then we're probably gonna close out this stream. Is Nova versus Aquaman? Where are they gonna battle? This one is gonna really decide upon what's gonna happen. To be honest. All right. by the gods. And I spelled neutral wrong, so that's that's one thing. But Nova and Aquaman will battle in a neutral area, so it has water, but it also has air, obviously, but it's not underwater, so they'll be able to use their abilities to the I guess the highest echelon, right? Not that Nova just needs space to be able to move around, but I feel like Aquaman truly needed some water, so it's great that he has a neutral since I spelled it wrong, environment, right? All right, we are gonna close this out. I'm gonna review the names and the matchups for Friday's brawl, and I think I'm gonna do 8 o'clock. I get off of work probably around 6, so I'll have everything ready, and we'll try to make it a little bit, I'll do it a little bit more creative than this stream, but I think we already have the kind of the formula now for the next couple of matchups to really debate. So yeah, so first and foremost we have Domino versus Blue Beetle, and then we have Gladiator versus Wonder Woman in the desert, Nova and Aquaman in a neutral environment, and wait a minute, I did not write Domino versus Blue Beetle. Where did we say they were gonna fight? Did I say the ocean? The desert? I didn't say desert. Oh man, I thought I wrote it down and I did not write it down. So Domino versus Blue Beetle. Bake the Snake, do you remember where I said they were going to battle? Domino versus Blue Beetle. And you said Blue Beetle's going to win. Scrolling up. I forgot. It was the first one that I said we should not remove. It was in neutral. Oh, ocean. Okay. Thank you. So ocean, desert, and also neutral environment. Okay, cool. All right, so going back to the beginning of the stream, the beginning of the stream was basically Shazam versus Thor, and we did, the votes came in, not that many votes, but it was all pretty much all leaning on the side of Thor. So shout out to everyone who supported the stream. Next one is going to be a lot more organized and kind of straight to the point. We're going to do an 8 o'clock stream this Friday. What I'll try to do is a lot of like mini announcements along the way. So I'll do like mini videos leading up to the Friday. So what I'll do is tomorrow I'll do kind of like a preview video for the two characters, Domino versus Blue Beetle. and Gladiator versus Wonder Woman, and then I'll do a Nova versus Aquaman, and then we'll do the final debate on we'll do the final debate on the Friday, but we'll do like vote videos, kind of explaining their powers, like a powers discussed video in each of those videos. So Domino's powers discussed, and then Blue Beetle's powers discussed, and then so on and so on and so on. So thanks for all the support, everyone. Shout out to pretty much everyone. And my phone just died, so I can't see the comment section, but I'm gonna check it right now because I think, if I'm not mistaken, everyone, I just hit, as of today, 600 subscribers, or probably someone left. I don't know. We'll see right now. I'm checking the actual my video right now. Okay, I'm back. Never. I don't know. We'll see right now. I'm looking at I'm checking the actual my chat, my video right now. Okay. No, I believe you when you said it was, okay, I'm looking at chat. I definitely believe you when you said it was, the ocean. I think it definitely the ocean. So, yeah, so I'm looking at it. It says 600 subscribers. So, shout out to everyone. I made it to 600. Things are happening. Things are getting real. And I know some of my videos that people like, they like the video game content and they like the superhero content. I've been focusing a lot on video game content in the last couple of weeks, but I'm getting back to my core roots, which is comic books and things of that nature. Oh, Bake the Snake, you're definitely going to get it. We're all going to get up there. We're going to get up there, and we're going to be sipping on some grape juice or apple juice in the future, because we are hard workers and we make great content. But most importantly, I think it's the community is just so awesome, and they bring out other ideas, kind of like when we were talking about Shazam and the wisdom of Solomon. When you're around a community of people, they will bring you to new heights, right? This is me, the Zen talking now. My philosophy is, you know, why I love this community so much is I love comic books, right? And I'm sitting next to like all these comic books and things like that. But sometimes the great part about technology is that it brings like-minded people together, right? In a lot of different ways that you wouldn't normally do when you're going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home, right? So it gives you the ability to connect with other people. And I love streaming and just kind of jamming out and talking about what I like to talk about, right? I think that's the most important aspect of it in its entirety. So yeah, and I didn't have this community before. I had my friends who are into comic books and things of that nature, but this is like, honestly, this is like my stress reliever. This is like when I come home from work, I kind of like, yeah, I could just like lay down in the bed, but I'm like, hey, I'm gonna create a video. I'm gonna go talk about a comic book. I'm gonna go read it, then talk about it, and I feel that dopamine like flowing through my brain, right? And I feel good, right? So overall, that's kind of like why I love the community, and I'm so appreciative to reach 600. If I reach more in the future, then I'm going to be super appreciative of it again. But you can't reach a certain point without a community, and I am deeply grateful, and I give the utmost gratitude to the community. It actually brought out some old friends into town that had some collectibles people that I had no idea collected. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's like bringing a community together of folks who are like-minded and who just enjoy these different things, right? Otherwise, I can't really, unless I'm traveling all the time to go to different cons and then meeting up with those people there, which is kind of, the likelihood of that is kind of like a lot more slim. And the reason why it's a lot more slim is because when you're going to a con, you don't automatically know everyone, right? And you're not always going to a Comic Con or an anime con or a manga con or something of that nature, right? So through the internet, like I have you know, I have my Instagram and things like that, I'm able to share just like my likes with like-minded people, essentially, right? And I'm on my vacation now, but for me, people are like, oh, you're not traveling, you're not doing things. No, for me, reading a brand new comic book, talking about it, making videos about it, and having my son here to talk about it with me too, it's just like really amazing, right? Speaking of my son, he loves Dead by Daylight, and he has a channel. It's Gaming with Baki. So if you have children who want to watch Roblox and things like that, definitely check out his channel. I'm just like side promoting for him as well. But yeah, really enjoyed the stream and enjoying the community. Shout out to everyone who has been supporting my channel, because there's a lot of different content on my channel, right? It's a little bit there's a lot on my channel, right? And I'm gonna keep it like that. I'm not gonna change that. A lot of people say that you should focus on one content, but I don't want to get bored, right? So one of the things that you'll see me do continuously is continue to make video game videos, but also comic book videos. I'm gonna really focus on these versus videos. I like the aspect of like voting, coming up with these random combinations. Bake the Snake, you put up some really good like DC characters that I really have to truly think about how they're going to match up against each other, right? And again, when we do the matchup on Friday, the whole point is not for me to know the answer of who I think would win, but basically just to talk about these characters and the potentiality, that's not a word, but I'm going to say the potentiality about who would win in a specific environment, which didn't come as my idea, right? It came from Bake the Snake's idea when he said swamp, and then you see how like things emerge, and that's why a community is so awesome. Yeah, I like a whole lot of different things. I'm into horror games, video fighting games, and I'm into comic books. So, but I'm also into movies, right? And also, yeah, just doing a whole lot of like reaction reviews and things like that. A lot of it is like Marvel and DC content, like superhero movie content when I do reactions, but also I just like mind-bending movies, right? For example, the movie Tenet is about to come out. Christopher Nolan, he's amazing, right? And I could only imagine that the music is going to be amazing. When I went to go see Star Wars, they had like a mini featurette on Tenet, and I was just like, I need to make a video on this. So, you know, there goes that, like, I want to make a video on everything because I enjoy pretty much a lot of different things, which is the cool part about it, right? So don't pigeonhole yourself to just one type of channel. Yeah, I'm not going to do that because you know, the thing about it, I'm ranting now, I'm going off, but I don't, you know, this is, you know, the channel and the video. I don't want to get to the point when I get burnt out, right? There was a point when I was getting burnt out, and I took a really long break. That's when I was making a lot of videos early, sometime last year, right? And the reason why I was getting burnt out because I was making the same kind of content, and it wasn't as fun, right? I like to dabble into different things and then come back to what I missed the most, right? I was beginning to stream retro games, but I kind of panicked with the Copa stuff, and so, oh, you sold it? Oh, really? I still have mine, and so I streamed some games, right? I did like a Dead by Daylight video, but I also wanted to do a Super Mario Maker, so I did one Super Mario Maker video because I was trying to figure out how can I stream from the Switch. So I got the Elgato, so that I could stream. So I don't know. So that's another thing, right? That, I mean, we could talk about this all day, but I do want to talk about it a little bit. There's a potential that I might take my channel down, though, and that's all dependent on what happens with the whole Copa thing coming up on the 1st, right, which is Wednesday. If the premise is basically there's a lot of YouTubers who have like their content taken down because it could be advertised as for children, but they set it to as adults or vice versa, then I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. The Copa thing is a little bit scary because I don't really know all the variables to it. Like, yes, they have a whole long list of things that you could read, what's considered content, but like for me, for example, like this whole stream that we just did, I didn't curse. Everything that I said was pretty much on point, with the exception of some words that were said wrong, but there was nothing, no profanity, nothing like that. But also the characters that I were talking about have been advertised to children through the aspect of movies, right? So my question is, could this be considered for children? I am going to put it as for adults. I guess I'll put in the word die so that the algorithm won't like will pick up a word and then I'll be all right. But yeah, the whole Copa thing is a little bit obscure and a little bit scary too. And yes, there's a big fine, but I don't want to. If on like the first, I see a whole bunch of, I see like some strikes on my account, and then I already know that's the beginning of like, no, I'm out, right? Because I know that they're also trying to do some kind of purging, right? Accounts that are not really being used, or accounts that are seemingly getting to a point where YouTube will have to pay more accounts than they thought they wouldn't have to, right? You know, placing ads and things like that, which in a sense should make them more money, but I also feel like they're doing things, I don't know, I feel like YouTube is either going to propel itself forward into the future, or this is kind of like the end game, right, of YouTube itself until there's like a brand new platform that comes out. But what I am going to plan on doing is, I guess if I do decide to like take down all of my videos, I'm going to download the ones that I feel like are the best to me, and then I'll upload them to like Instagram. And so I'll pull like all of my stuff to Instagram. I could live stream on Instagram. I could do pretty much everything that I can do, since now they have you could put longer videos on Instagram. I think that might be something that I might do primarily on Instagram, if that's the case, right? The only thing that sucks about it is like all of you guys that I've made as friends, or just like people who are like-minded on the YouTube. It feels it would suck if all of a sudden in about 2 days on the 1st there's like an Armageddon, right, when it comes to YouTube. Because I often even wonder, my son watches a whole lot of YouTube videos, and I'm ranting now, but he watches a whole lot of YouTube videos, and some of those kids technically can't advertise for kids, or they could advertise for kids, but are the games that they're playing directly for kids, right? I don't know. It's a hard bargain. Like, he'll watch videos about like unboxing videos, and sometimes there's some of those toys are not directly for 12 and under, right? They may be rated 14, and that's what I mean about the variables. And for us comic book content creators, right, I don't make comic book videos all the time, but when I do, I definitely now am looking at the rating, right? So for this one, for example, this Doctor Strange book, Surgeon Supreme, which is really good, it's a really good start, is rated T for teen, right? So does that automatically mean that I could put my videos for, if I do a review on this, will it be for adults, right? Most of them are for teen. So I'm looking here at this Metal Man. I don't see a rating, but I know it has to be here. Turn the page. See, things like that make it a little bit obscure, because most of them do have the ratings on it. That one didn't. Judas Contract is teen plus, right? So I think for the most part, a lot of these books are good. This one says 17 plus, right? Far Sector, 17 plus. Most of these books, T for teen. American G, I don't even this is probably rated adult. It doesn't say it, but we already know. Spider-Ham, this book has like nothing in it, but for some reason it is rated it's rated teen, but it's yeah, it's not even a. So I think for the most part comic book creators are okay, which then makes me think that I probably need to focus more on just comic book content and just mix it up like that. Because if you're making comic book content, you're pretty much good. Like, I'm looking at these, rated T for teen. I don't even have to look at it. It already has a little bit of blood. Yeah, teen for Spider-Ham. Like, I didn't realize it. I read this book the other night, the Spider-Ham book, and I enjoyed what it was, right? But I didn't see anything in the book that would make it T for teen. And that could just be because I overlook some things, but yeah, I don't know. Excalibur, teen, T for teen, same thing, T for teen, and what is this under it? Excalibur, T for teen, right? T for teen, T for teen, right? So I think we're good. Comic book creators are good. Which is why I might need to like pay attention to how I mix up the videos. Most of the videos I make are like horror games or fighting games, and I think they should be rated T for teen, except for the Dragon Ball Fighters. But I think I'm good. But anyway, I'm gonna jump off of this. I talked a lot, and I'm okay with that. But look out for a video tomorrow on not Domino versus Blue Beetle, but powers discussed for Domino's power and power sets and Blue Beetle's sets leading all the way up to Friday. So we'll do and then I'll skip a week or something like that. So tomorrow is the 31st. I'm gonna do video on Domino and Blue Beetle, right? Powers discussed, and then on Wednesday, which is New Year's, I'll probably do like a double video. I'll edit those videos. So Gladiator versus Wonder Woman, their powers discussed in its entirety, and then Nova versus Aquaman, their powers discussed in its entirety, and then I'll do the votes on Instagram. So my Instagram handler name is zen.world and then underscore, so that you could vote on those characters. So I'll do an early morning post tomorrow for Domino versus Blue Beetle. Who do you think will win? And I'll pretty much leave it up as long as possible, and then I'll bring that to the matchups on Friday. So someone just came into the stream, so I'm just going to say the matchups for Friday's debate. So everyone come with their history, their knowledge of these characters. It's going to be Domino versus Blue Beetle in the ocean, or an oceanic type of environment. Not in the ocean because they're going to drown. Then it's going to be Gladiator versus Wonder Woman for round 2 in the desert area. They could go all out. And then round 3 for Friday's debate will be Nova versus Aquaman in a neutral environment. So meaning that they're part and parcel to environments that might have air and also an oceanic type of environment. So with that being said, we talked a lot. Talked about Copa, also why I love making YouTube videos and the comic book community. And this is Zen from Zen World saying peace, love, and prosperity. Give me a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share the video with like-minded people so that we could really jam out, especially between tomorrow. I'll drop all my videos for the remainder of the week at 8 o'clock New York time, because I'm in New York. I don't want to say standard because I feel like I'll get it wrong, but yeah, and then comment on those videos tomorrow leading all the way up to Friday, because on Friday we're going to do the live stream. The prior videos will be pretty much edited videos just talking about their powers and putting in some cool pictures and maybe some effects, and then I'll cut it short and sweet to the point. Alright everyone, take care, have a good night, have some awesome dreams.